2014, a YouTube user that went by the name Regicide uploaded 6 UFO videos to YouTube. 4 of these videos we can view because they were reposted elsewhere before Regicide deleted their YouTube account back in 2019. 2 of the videos are the recently resurfaced MH370 orb videos, a World War II flying saucer video, and finally, a video titled Impossible Maneuvering. Thankfully, someone on Facebook posted the World War II saucer video in 2015. The reason I say thankfully is because Regicide deleted their account, so we wouldn't be able to see the video had they not done this in 2015. Most of you probably already know who whistleblower David Grusch is. For those who don't, briefly, David Grusch is a United States Air Force officer and a former intelligence official. Grusch recently testified in a U.S. House of Representatives congressional hearing. Grusch claimed that he had conversations with unnamed officials that led him to believe that the U.S. government maintains a secretive UFO or UAP recovery program, and that we are in possession of non-human spacecraft along with their dead pilots.
Years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel.
In my opinion, and in the opinion of some others, the narrator of the World War II saucer video and Mr. Grusch seem to have the exact same inflections, cadence, pronunciation, emphasis of his T's, and so forth. Let's compare clips.
It helps keep the film strip from being damaged when it finishes. The side effect is when you play it back, footage captured at a slower frame rate appears like it's in fast forward when it's displayed at a normal frame rate. Here I have adjusted it to compensate. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this...
Years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel.
Here I have adjusted it to compensate. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second.
Next up is a clip posted by a Reddit user, where we'll be comparing the word but.
It represents real time. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this rough...
But I think...
It represents real time. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this rough...
But I think...
It represents real time. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this rough...
But...
And finally, a couple comparisons with audio that's a little cleaner.
You'll notice that it seems to go into fast forward partway through. This is because the capture frame rate was slowed down midway through the shot. I think this may have been the end of a film reel. Some film cameras are made to slow the reel.
Patrick oversaw our activities and what we were doing and the money we were spending. I never said I was a part of the core team, so I believe it was just lost in translation or misconstrued.
7th of November, 1993. I'd love to have seen this before it got so degraded. It looks like very little care was taken to preserve the footage before it was donated to the museum.
PPD-19 process, it goes to the Intel committees, either through PPD-19 or ICD-120. There's not.
I'd love to have seen this before it got so degraded. It looks like very little care was taken to preserve the footage before it was donated to the museum.
PPD-19 process, it goes to the Intel committees, either through PPD-19 or ICD-120.
What's your opinion? Do you hear similar patterns in the speech? I don't believe these audio comparisons lead to anything conclusive, but it's definitely worth looking at further. Because if Grusch turns out to be regicide, that's huge, for multiple reasons. Mr. Grusch told Ross Coulthart that he didn't get into UAP until 2017. These videos posted by Regicide were posted in 2014. Not only that, these videos posted by Regicide are completely bogus. MH370 orb video, World War II saucer, impossible maneuvers. We even have one called Ghost of Drowned Boy Haunts Brothers. I'm not sure what's in that video, but I'd like to see. Representative Jared Moskowitz of Florida asked Mr. Grusch about the existence of satellite imagery of UAP. Grusch answered, "I personally reviewed both what we call overhead collection and from other strategic and tactical platforms that I could not even explain prosaically." Could Grusch have been referring to the MH370 videos? As it was originally alleged that these videos were taken from a drone and a satellite.
There's some bullshit story that we met at a Star Trek convention. Yeah, guilty. We actually did meet at a Star Trek convention.
Mr. Chairman, ranking members and congressmen, thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grusch. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force, UAPTF, and eventually, once it was established, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs. My testimony is based on information I've been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country, many of whom also have shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony to myself and my various colleagues. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years while I was with the UAP Task Force and do my due diligence on the individual sharing it. This is because of these steps, I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I am driven by a commitment of both to truth and transparency, rooted in our inherent duty to uphold the United States Constitution and protect the American people. I'm asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims. But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts as I've been told them. In the U.S. Air Force, in my National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, reservist capacity, I was a member of the UAP Task Force from 2019 to 2021. I served at the NRO Operations Center on the Director's Briefing staff, which included the coordination of the Presidential Daily Brief and supporting variety of contingency operations, which I was the Reserve Intelligence Division Chief backup. In 2019, the UAP Task Force Director asked me to identify all special access programs and controlled access programs, also known as SAPs and CAPs, we needed to satisfy our congressionally mandated mission, and we were direct report at the time to the DepSecDef. At the time, due to my extensive executive level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
On the 7th of November, 1993. I'd love to have seen this before it got so degraded. It looks like very little care was taken to preserve the footage before it was donated to the museum. You'll notice that it seems to go into fast forward partway through. This is because the capture frame rate was slowed down midway through the shot. I think this may have been the end of a film reel. Some film cameras are made to slow the reel when it gets close to reaching the end. It helps keep the film strip from being damaged when it finishes. The side effect is when you play it back, footage captured at a slower frame rate appears like it's in fast forward when it's displayed at a normal frame rate. Here I have adjusted it to compensate. It's choppy because there aren't as many frames per second, but I think this roughly represents real time. I have a few more World War II era film reels that I have to work through, but I need to digitize them first before I process and post them.